Welcome to your Robbins Regional Wrap, your one-stop shop for all of your Houston County news. I'm Caitlin Heck. Each week, we are taking you through what's happening in Houston, Warner Robins, Robins Air Force Base, and your neighborhood. And this week, one story covered all the rest, the snow. So let's recap how the week-long event unfolded. Now, it all started on Monday as Georgia Department of Transportation began working to protect drivers here in central Georgia. Video showed GDOT trucks brining I-75 south for potential wintry conditions. Hunter King shared how crews got ready.
More than 31 of these tankers, each holding 5,000 gallons of brine, now roll across central Georgia's highways. State crews started laying brine before sunrise Sunday. Workers have spread more than 200,000 gallons of the saltwater mixture across District 3's roads, which includes Bibb and Houston County.
We definitely are prepared. We've been preparing since last week for this second round of winter weather for our state.
The brine helps prevent ice from forming a solid sheet on the roads. The state's transportation department says crews are targeting interstates, state routes, bridges, and overpasses. In Houston County, local crews prepare for the worst but hope for the best.
We've got in mind that we could have some difficult weather coming up, so we've converted some of our tractors to salt spreaders so that they can hit the bridges.
Jones says the county has moved equipment across the area and will be deployed if and when the roads ice over.
We just want the public to stay safe, and then just if you see our trucks out there to please, stay back a few hundred feet so that we can work, whether it be snow plowing or the brining.
After this first round of treatment, the state planned another Monday night focused on I-75 and I-16. The county is asking people to pack emergency supplies if they must travel, including jumper cables, flashlights, warm clothes, and water. In Houston County, Hunter King, 13 WMAZ News.
All those preparations certainly paid off. The State Department of Transportation, of course, was reminding drivers to avoid bridges and overpasses that ice first in the winter weather, which we certainly saw. Now, the ice and snow did come, and check out these scenes from Houston County that you sent us from all the wintry weather. Between 2 to 6 inches of snow fell all across Houston County. According to the National Weather Service, we saw so many kids and pets and families just enjoying this beautiful winter weather. Now, by Tuesday night, downtown Perry became a winter wonderland. Naomi Washington was there to show us what the city center looked like.
The white flurries falling here are cold and falling in every direction. It's sticking to the ground too, including areas on the road that cars aren't driving over tonight. The ground isn't the only thing covered in snow. It's business storefronts, trees, and the statues outside of Perry City Hall. If you need to be out on the roads tonight, please be careful. Lots of the road is covered in snow and very slippery. In Perry, Naomi Washington, 13 WMAZ News.
Certainly beautiful, though. Perry Police Chief Alan Evers told us that he saw drivers who thought they were going slow enough, but had experienced their cars slipping on the road due to the icy conditions. By that morning, these photos were sent in to us by William Kurtz. He was one of the few truck drivers who did not try to venture out on the slick interstates and spent the night in a hotel. This was his view from his window over I-75. What looked like some beautiful scenery did get dangerous pretty quickly, though. This was the scene from the Perry Police Department of a backup on I-75 from early Wednesday. Roads across central Georgia froze overnight. They said the southbound lanes turned into a parking lot, as you can see here, making it difficult for emergency vehicles to help stranded drivers. And Naomi Washington spent the night in Perry as well and shared what it looked like first thing Wednesday morning.
Well, the sun is finally up, and it's hard to believe how much snow really fell out here. Going into the night, it was still coming down very heavily, a lot of it in all different directions, but it has stopped now. No snow this morning as we're waking up. However, still very cold, still very icy. I'm going to move to the side so you can see the parking lot. There is just a layer of ice just over the entire thing. So, the snow was kind of pushed off of it because, a little bit earlier there was still snow all over the parking lot. Snow pushed off of it, still ice everywhere. It's very icy. Even just moving, taking a step is taking a risk. So not moving that car at all this morning. And, as we go into the day, we'll see what the conditions hold. But right now, just a lot of ice, just a lot of snow. In Perry, Naomi Washington, 13 WMAZ News.
Hard to believe that was just a few days ago. Now, later in the day, Naomi was able to catch up with Perry's police chief again and talked with travelers whose journeys were delayed by the weather.
The sun is out and the snow is melting, but the Perry Police Chief says when temperatures drop again, they are worried about black ice on the roads. He says the city's public safety departments will do their best to prepare.
We'll continue to try to work those highly traveled roads, the bridges, to the best of our ability with the resources we have. The best thing we can do for people is stay off the road.
Some travelers who plan to pass through the state stayed overnight in Perry.
We were actually backed up in traffic for about 5 hours. Yeah, we were just sitting there trying to weave in and out, and we got to a point where we couldn't really get anywhere.
Out of caution, he says they stopped at a nearby hotel at 4 a.m. The same thing happened to Chris Swindell and his family.
There was a lot of cars that were on the side of the road. We had probably about 2 very close calls, but made it through, made it here safe.
He says they are hitting the road again to get home to Tampa, but not without having some fun first.
We're going to go around the corner, hopefully go to the park, let them throw some snowmen or just throw some snowballs, and hopefully when it warms up a little bit, try to make it back home.
And for people still stuck on the roads, Everidge says crews are making their way around.
We do not have the ability to shuttle everybody back into town. Right now, we're trying to work a plan for that, but our main concern is to try to take care of the bare essentials. We're bringing some water and stuff by, but we ask you to stay in your car.
Many travelers told me they plan to wait for this sun and warmer temperatures to make the rest of their way home. In Perry, Naomi Washington, 13 WMAZ News.
And you saw the icy highways sending some people scrambling for shelter at those hotels. Some had to stay a while until the highways were clear. Ellie Milliken talked to some truckers who couldn't wait to get back on the road again.
Guys, the snow is still here and so is the ice. Some trucks are stopped and can't make it up the hill because of the weight in their vehicles. William Kurtz drove his truck from Missouri, but the weather forced him to stop in Perry.
We knew that Arctic front was coming, but we didn't know it was going to be snow like this, and turn into ice. So, but like I said, from Missouri, where we're from, this ain't nothing. It's the ice, it's the factor. The snow ain't nothing.
He looked at the ice Wednesday morning and said driving was still too risky.
For today, we probably are. I mean, just the road conditions are horrible. They're icy. You see the snow. I don't even know how a lot of these trucks are going to get up that hill just to get out of here.
Truck driver Eric Colton left Tallahassee Tuesday to head home to Decatur. But he, too, had to stop in central Georgia.
I guess I'd make it to Perry, Georgia. Once I get to Perry, Georgia, it'd be okay. But it seems like Perry, Georgia got more snow and ice than anybody.
Colton got a hotel room and woke up Wednesday morning seeing ice everywhere. He wanted to wait out the icy conditions.
We're okay to drive in the ice. We can most get by without the other drivers in the way. But when you got other drivers, four-wheelers in the way, best for us to stay in for our license and stuff.
Colton also says his truck carries around 20,000 pounds of weight, which can be hard in the ice.
I thought I could leave this morning, but I knew I wasn't going to be able to leave early in the morning. So basically, I wanted to make sure I had daylight before I even try to go. So right now, it is what it is.
Some truck drivers say driving in this weather is not worth it for anyone. Perry police say you should only be on the roads if needed. In Perry, Ellie Milliken, 13 WMAZ News.
We are glad so many people heeded those warnings and stayed inside and stayed safe. Now, by Thursday, crews were still working to clear the roads from patches of ice that remained. Houston County Public Works saw some problem spots, especially in the shaded areas. Hunter King was there as they warned drivers and finished clearing the roads.
Houston County Public Works Director Brian Jones says their crews have been on duty nonstop.
We had some crews that worked. They were at Public Works for 48 hours straight. When the snow started coming down, it was coming down awful heavy.
Motor graders broke up ice, salt trucks treated the problem areas, and the department targeted critical locations first.
So at about 4 a.m., we started looking at roads and applying salt.
The biggest challenge? Shaded areas where ice remains stubborn, especially on the side streets and neighborhood routes.
Any area that hasn't gotten any sunlight or where the warmer temperatures, I know it's still just in the 40s, but those warmer temperatures do affect the snow and help us out.
And while conditions are improving, officials warn drivers to remain cautious, especially as night falls.
Everybody needs to keep in mind that they may be a good driver, but the person ahead of them may not be, and they always need to be cautious. Not only for the ice, but for other people on the road.
With the possibility of some schools reopening soon, their top priority is clearing roads near those schools.
Taking care of the main thoroughfares and such, and now our concerns are basically the side streets and the smaller road areas, which the bus routes usually take to pick up the children. we're addressing those areas. We have heavy equipment out there now.
I know the students enjoyed some days off of school, but Houston County schools did reopen Friday for students and staff. We're hoping that everyone stayed safe and had fun in this record-setting winter weather. Well, besides that, it was still a busy week before the snow even fell. Houston County honored Martin Luther King with their annual march featuring people of all ages.
It was very important for me to come out today because I have young children as well. And if I don't stand for my children and let the world see that we're still fighting for our rights, then they will have no rights tomorrow.
The march started at Perry's Oldfield Baptist Church and ended at New Hope Baptist Church. Some marched, many more rode. Marchers chanted hymns and spirituals along the route. The crowd made sure to recognize the message that Dr. King spread.
People call it any race. We all deserve to have peace and have equal rights, and that's what he stood for.
There was prayer and fellowship before and after the march. More than 24 people showed up at Warner Robins City Hall to support the city's Parks and Recreation Director. Supporters say Jared Renault was asked to turn in his keys and city vehicle last week and now faces termination. Hunter King shows us what happened when they spoke up at Tuesday's emergency council meeting.
Well, it is quite cold out here. The snow is starting to fall, but it was far from cold inside those council chambers here at City Hall. Things started to heat up as community members gathered in support of Jared Renault. About 25 people filled these seats here to support a man who's worked with the city of Warner Robins for nearly 3 decades. The meeting was short, but there was lots to say. During public comments, Jeff Noss questioned why the city is asking Renault to leave.
He's got 28 years here, and I just would hate for somebody to lose a pension. We're talking about a retirement, 28 years. How would that promote anybody to come and work for you or anybody in my city?
The mayor responded to him and to complaints on social media.
He will not lose a pension. He keeps his pension. So that's important. I, for one, agree with you. No one should ever work that many years and not get anything back.
Patrick also denied Renault's termination has anything to do with race and denounced those calling her a racist. She said there's more to the story.
His direction that he's done with the department, very great. That's not why we're here today. That's not why he got his opportunity to resign. Okay?
And if he resigns, Patrick said, Renault will be able to keep his pension and benefits. She says he hasn't given the city his decision yet. The council voted today to move their next meeting to February 3rd. It is unclear whether or not they will vote then if Renault chooses not to resign. Reporting in Warner Robins, Hunter King, 13 WMAZ News.
Now the mayor says when Renault makes his decision about resigning, it will be made public. Also this week, Warner Robins police remained quiet after a murder-suicide on Monday. Investigators returned to the home on Taylor Lane Drive Tuesday. They did not release the names of the woman and 2 children who died. Camila Williams went to the neighborhood to try to find out more.
Yeah, many people are asking how this happened and why. And I spoke with the next door neighbor who told me that they were a nice family, they owned 2 businesses, and they would wave to each other often. But they said the last time they saw the husband was yesterday, crying outside the home when police arrived. Cars slowed down to see what happened at this home on Taylor Lane Drive off Fagan Mill Road. And a crime scene cleaning crew took pictures of the home and left pamphlets on the front door. Warner Robins police say the victims are a 38-year-old woman and 2 kids, a 13-year-old girl and a 9-year-old boy. We reached out to police hoping to get more information like their names and how they died. But we also talked with neighbors who told me that the couple that lived here owned 2 businesses in Warner Robins. They said they were shocked and said this was a good family. They told me the family has many friends and a support system at the Umyo Menhir Hindu Temple on Rayleigh Road in West Macon. But for now, neighbors are sending their condolences and prayers to the family. In Warner Robins, Camila Williams, 13 WMAZ News.
Now, police say they are continuing to investigate and have not released any new details in this case. Well, for many of the approximately 170 million Americans on TikTok, the app's a fun way to discover new recipes, listen to trendy music, and learn viral dance moves. But for others, TikTok is so much more. In 2023, Oxford Economics published a report saying the app supports 224,000 American jobs. Celine Arif shows us how the app helped one small business in our area.
A family business through and through. All 6 kids helping mom and dad run this restaurant named after their version of the American dream.
Well, tacos y mariscos, tacos, mariscos means seafood, and Ofelia as his mom.
Veronica Tisnado and Mario Lopez poured a lot of grit and grind into this dream 5 years ago, but last October, it still wasn't enough to keep their lights on.
Unfortunately, we were in discussions of whether we should shut down and just call it quits because business was very slow.
Then, Tisnado had an idea: upload to TikTok. Tisnado found success with this video that's since gone viral. But Lopez wasn't always a fan of the app.
A couple times I was mad with her because I say, Veronica, come help me do this. And she was on the phone. She was on the phone doing some TikTok.
But then someone named Keith Lee saw the video. The famous food critic on TikTok decided to visit the family, try their food, and ultimately praise it on TikTok. After the review, they couldn't keep up with customers.
They say a big reason why their doors are still open today is because of that one viral video this TikTok superstar made.
People from Texas, California, Alabama, Mississippi, different places.
It's hard to say where the business would be without TikTok. But when the app shut down yesterday, it left the entire family wondering.
Because of TikTok, we are where we are right now. And losing it would probably mean to losing some business because I can promote my business on TikTok for free.
It's an app that's literally saved their American dream. And with the app still in jeopardy, they're left wondering how to keep their dream alive another year. Reporting in Warner Robins, Celine Air, 13W MAZ News.
It's amazing the impact some of those TikTok videos can have. The app began working again after then President-elect Donald Trump said he'd issue the app a 90-day extension. Now, Trump couldn't officially do that until he was sworn in. As for the restaurant owners, they say their lease at Fagan Mill Road is ending, and they hope advertising on TikTok will help as they plan to move to a food truck or to a new location. Well, the state of Georgia could make a big change in how you reach 911 in an emergency. Houston County's dispatch center says they're ready to upgrade, but other Georgia centers lag behind. Hunter King explains how new technology could help save more lives.
Are you in any pain right now?
Every day, dispatchers like these answer calls that could mean the difference between life and death. But their system dates back to the era of rotary phones.
In 1991, when I started, we literally wrote the traffic down on a steno notepad. And then when we had time, we would transcribe that onto a typed log with a typewriter.
While technology has evolved, the 911 system hasn't kept pace. Quinones says even food delivery apps can find you faster than 911.
Literally, Uber can find you sometimes easier than we can. And people don't understand that.
In the very near future, it could very well be a reality that you can text your dispatcher or even send cell phone video to them. But the funding needs to be passed by the Georgia legislature. Houston County already has equipment that can carry the new system, but the Georgia General Assembly will decide this year whether to carry it statewide.
We deal in life and death situations every day.
Which makes the text, photos, and videos sent under the new system even more important. And if implemented, it can be used in court. But many rural centers can't afford the upgrade on their own.
You have some of your more rural, smaller counties who simply don't have the funds to be able to move or purchase this type of technology.
It's a life-saving upgrade waiting for the green light. In Houston County, Hunter King, 13 WMAZ News.
Now, the Georgia Emergency Communication Authority estimates it'll take 5 years to complete the upgrade statewide. They say that lawmakers may need to increase the current $1.50 fee on phone bills to pay for it. Let's take a closer look now at the next generation system. So according to a survey by the Georgia Emergency Communication Authority, the top 3 biggest challenges in implementing this system are funding, technology, and plating. The new system can receive texts, and in 2023, more than 60 911 centers accepted texts. More than 59,000 texts for emergency service were received. Some benefits of the system, according to the GECA, it improves scene and responder safety, and it enables data sharing across county and state lines, and it ensures calls are routed to the right 911 center. Well, our athlete of the week is hailing from Demon Country. Sammy Costas introduces you to Gabe Jacobs, who is crushing it in and out of the classroom.
Perfect young man to have around, perfect young man to have in the program.
Warner Robins boys basketball head coach Jamal Garman thought of one name when it came to Athlete of the Week, senior shooting guard Gabe Jacobs.
You're gonna get a young man that you really want more of in your classroom because he's gonna do exactly what he's supposed to do.
Have a positive impact on other people's lives.
and to be able to teach people that, you know, you don't have to be all one way or the other. You can do both and you can excel at both.
Jacobs is successful at both. He claims points on the court and the classroom. Jacobs has a 4.0 GPA while averaging 17 points on the hardwood and 4 assists. A subpar performance is simply not an option in his mind.
Be the best version of yourself, so not to settle for anything less. So obviously with that, like, I strive to get hundreds on every assignment that I can. And if I fall short of that, well, then I try to go talk with teachers, see what I could correct, and go back and study and keep improving.
It's something he's been taught from a young age. If he brought a good grade to his mom, she'd say,
I'm proud of you, Gabriel. Now you know you got to keep it going. You know, one grade is good, but let's continue to strive for better, for more.
He's got support at home from parents that they're not going to tolerate any foolishness because he's representing them when he leaves the house.
Jacobs tells me it carries on to the court.
As coaches told us, we can't be complacent. Even if we're on a 17-game win streak, we can't be complacent, because at the end of the day, we have to treat ourselves as if every game is 0-0. We're just trying to be 1-0 at the end of that day. So we carry that same mentality into every game, and we try to work to get the results that we want.
The list of characteristics for Jacobs is not a short one.
His integrity, he's honest. He won't sugarcoat anything. You ask him, he'll give you a straightforward answer, even if it gets him in trouble. So that's what we really kind of look forward to. He's a high character guy. He's a caring teammate, and he's a leader. He's also a follower too.
And Coach Garman says Jacobs learned how to first follow the leaders that came before him, and he uses that knowledge to be a better teacher. All right, well, that is a wrap on what's happening throughout the Robbins region this week. If you have a Houston County story you want us to share, remember you can email us at news@13wmaz.com, and make sure you come back each Friday to get all your Houston County news and stories that matter to you. Thank you for joining us for your Robbins Regional Wrap.